Vodafone presents the pre-match.
Hello everyone and welcome back. It is another day over here for the ESL Pro League and we're straight back into some great Counter-Strike action, Mitch. It's been 3 days in a row and we might be down here in Australia, but our studio boxes are made in America, so there's a little bit of freedom in all of us.
True, and we're only halfway through the grind. I mean, you know, you say 3 days in a row, that's only of 6 for me. I don't know if you're on all of those, but definitely on the CS grind in terms of spectating it all. And, you know, even before I get here to the studio, you got to wake up, have some breakfast, maybe watch some EU Pro League or some of the other leagues going on. There's just too much Counter-Strike to watch, can't process it all.
Well, I was going to say that EU, well, that is where the Pro League finals are going to be held out over at Odense. I was trying to find my words there. I'm still processing my breakfast and my words at this stage. It is quite early for us over here, but in the evening for you guys, I hope you're having a nice dinner as you're about to process a couple of great matches actually going on in both streams really today. I mean, all these teams obviously fighting for this chance to go over to Odense to compete in the Pro League finals, and that's always the dream, right? Always going in and beating EU teams.
Yeah, I think we're, you know, a little bit blessed over on the stream today with the matches that we've got. You know, you look at some of them on paper, you might not think they might be the best matches that you would be able to watch, but I mean, some of the underdog teams, you might say, are performing pretty well at the moment and might actually have a chance to make a really nice game of it, like we saw yesterday with the United and MIBR. We got to follow them versus Liquid and then some other games on top of that as well.
I mean, United did it once before, but I don't know if they can do it against a giant like Liquid. But we'll take a look at all the standings first before we really make a good judgment. Obviously, Ghost Gaming so far, undefeated so far this season, I think, unless that they lost in one overtime. Regardless of how it is, still very impressive.
Yeah, undoubtedly. I mean, Wardell's on an absolute tear at the moment. He's going ham. You know, people are hyping up the Renegades, sort of undefeated win-loss streak rather, and I mean they've had similar sort of runs in previous iterations of Pro League, but it's always got to end at some point. And you know, who came out ahead in terms of the overall win-loss, like undefeated streak? It's definitely been Ghost. But then not only that, you look at Liquid just shoot up the board after they get a couple more matches in them, and then look at their round diff compared to all the other teams, and then you realize like, oh, yeah, you know, it's nice to see Liquid and Renegades and Ghost up near the top of the standings, but then when those tier 1 teams go, maybe we should knock out some of those games we've been putting off today, and then they just shoot up in the standings and you remember, oh, right, straight back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity.
Pretty much. I don't remember Cloud9 actually having 6 wins.
That's okay. You don't remember a Cloud9 win.
I remember an EU United win.
I remember Golden running all around the map, dropping 30 kills on Inferno win. And
I thought it split.
Skadoodle rolling back the years. Well, I don't know.
That was the first map.
Yeah.
The second map was a different story.
Let's not talk about that one.
Let's not. I mean, that was good for Complexity, I think. They were versing the other day, but not so good for Cloud9. Regardless, it's a bunch of different teams that we're following on today, so we're not following Cloud9, but we are going to be seeing I mean, this is a matchup. We saw this 2 seasons ago, right? Rogue versus Ghost. That's going to be our first matchup, but this time around, you can say that not only is it spicier, I think the entire Spice continent has been dumped into this matchup, because these were bottom place teams 2 seasons ago. Now they're all of a sudden competing to see who's really that best, I guess, tier 2 into that tier 1 team. Ghost probably just a little bit of a step ahead as Rogue have been struggling to find that 5th, but I mean, this matchup is going to be exciting.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. I feel like Ghost should have it pretty much on lockdown, mainly because of Rogue struggles to find a 5th, but Rogue can at least make it competitive. Maybe they can take the map if they dig really deep. It's just, man, it's so hard to beat the consistency of Wardell and Kuster and just the way that Ghost plays overall. They seem really well prepared for these Pro League matches. And I was going to say, you know, previously when we were watching them before, like, you know, they really bring that intensity and they really bring that focus into every single Pro League game and try to win them all, because you know, it might be a little bit more meaningful to them as a team than maybe your Liquids or your MIBRs or whatever, but it's not even necessarily the case. I mean, we watched them play Envy and it looked like they were kind of just autopiloting their way through that game, and the only person who really looks like he's trying to win and trying to kill everybody in the server is Wardell, and I don't think that he has an off switch. I don't think he actually can switch off and be like, just going through the motion. Or maybe that is just him going through the motions. Maybe he's not trying and he's just that gifted.
Yeah, maybe we haven't even seen his final form just yet. And to think that these guys were just playing in the ECA Mountain Dew League just only 2 or 3 seasons ago, and they made their way through the promotional period and into the Pro League. This is pretty much, we're talking, once again, it's like, I don't want to sound like a proud father because I literally didn't do anything, but it's like it sounds really bad, but it's you're looking back at
Phrases that you may have heard before.
For me, thankfully not. But I mean, we're looking back 1.5 years. On a serious note, you're looking at these teams and we're going, look, this is the developmental time. You're seeing a lot of potential, but they just haven't been able to grasp those little bits that can make them push their game a little bit further. They have, and now we're seeing EU United coming through the ECA Mountains U League, and they're also a team that had the potential of doing very similar things to Rogue and Ghost as well. Already really, really early on in the season, they've already done a lot of damage in my mind. They're definitely putting up numbers. They're putting up some good respect for themselves. They're not losing matches completely outright and looking like, oh no, these guys have no idea what they're doing. They're going to get completely stomped. Every single match we're seeing EU United, it's at least competitive.
Yeah, definitely. They always like bring away the double digits. I mean, yesterday we saw multiple different people have some really good performances. It started off really with Dazzle, who had a massive performance on Train. Relics was just fire on both maps. Ace definitely had some huge impact rounds where he made the gunnies and got, you know, multiple 4Ks and stuff like that. And then Moose towards the end of Mirage was the one who really closed it out, wasn't he?
Yeah, Moose has been absolutely dominant so far. It's the one that we really haven't really talked about for EU United, but we'll take a quick look at the schedule for what's going on. I do believe, from what I heard, the mainstream is slightly delayed because the European matches are still going on. If that's the case, Renegades versus Liquid, that could be a really spicy one. We might be a little bit delayed for the EU United versus Liquid. Look, we'll have to find out. That's a little speculation at the moment. But we are up against with Rogue and Ghost first up, and then later on in our stream, it's going to be Renegades up against MIBR. I don't know how I butcher it every single time, but it's not the easiest name for me to pronounce.
Yeah.
Mibba?
Mibba.
Mibba?
Mibba sounds like an insult that some like Londoner would call you.
Yeah, true. I can see that. That's also because,
like
I mean,
Big Bad Shack. It sounds like something he would say.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I've been watching a lot of British cooking shows recently, so
Oh, yeah?
I can kind of see
watch?
Odd Mate Gordon Ramsay, of course.
Gordon Ramsay?
Yeah. Not the angry screaming ones. The one where he's going in and going like, "This is how you are going to be cooking a delicious X meal today." So,
Oh yeah, the chilled out ones.
Yeah, so
Family friendly.
absolutely family-friendly. So,
Yeah.
I mean, for Rogue and Ghost, I mean, it's been quite a while for them inside the Pro League, but they're obviously looking to play it faster, and they're always looking to kind of elevate that gameplay a little bit more. Like you're saying for Ghost, is that they are always really hungry. I think for Rogue as well, they're pretty hungry. They're just having a huge stumbling block at this stage because they haven't been able to find this fifth, and as a result, I mean, I honestly think that I was looking at both lineups on paper, and I was going, both these rosters just make sense when you look at it.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be really hard for Rogue going forward in the future because the thing is that they lost Cadian, who was the person who sort of set up their play and sort of defined how they were going to play in their style and how the things that they were going to do to try and be a good team. They were really trying to adopt that sort of European approach rather than, you know, really shoving that NA approach forward, I suppose. And then not only that, he was their in-game leader and their AWPer. So you're missing two of the most important roles and your stylistic sort of approach just from losing one player. It's really going to change things up. And usually you wouldn't see one player. Like if you talk about losing maybe a player like Vice or Sick, they're very, very strong riflers, but it's not as bad because you can just throw in another role player or whatever. You can try and find another talent, and if they can live up to that standard, they can go all right.
Gonna have to stop you right there, Mitch, because you just said that you wanted... All I'm hearing right now is that a year ago you said your boy Vice was one of the sickest riflers on Rogue.
He is.
And you're saying now he's replaceable. Are you even a Rogue fan, mate?
Never said he's replaceable, mate.
That's what you were implying.
I was saying
all of the players on
it would have
Rogue...
been less of a setback to lose someone who's just a rifler and a role player on the team than the in-game leader and the AWPer. Please argue back with me, Kevin.
I disagree.
And the person who defined their whole style.
I disagree with you.
By bringing the Danish approach.
Because they can still bring their own unique approach into it. It's, I mean, obviously Cadian has had a big part to it, and losing it is going to be a big loss of the identity, and this is the rebuilding phase, so no, I disagree with you on that point.
You know what's really good though? In the rebuilding phase, they have this guy called Ricky, and it doesn't matter how good the tactics are or what's happening around him, he's just going to AWP a bunch of people in the head.
I mean, we'll have to wait and see if that happens or not, because he's still got Wardell, and there's one really good thing that he can do. That is pretty much destroy Australians. We saw that yesterday, and Ricky, he's still Australian, I guess. I guess.
Yeah.
Haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah.
In terms of anything, but he's Australian. Do we still lay claim to that or not really?
I don't know.
Or is it like kind of like he's gone for a little bit too long? We can't really say. Is he part of the boys still? Or?
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess so. Okay. There you
It
go.
only takes him to come home to be part of the boys.
I mean, I'll talk about that later actually, because I did realize that he came back home recently and he definitely did enjoy an Australian pastime of heading down to the local pub. But I digress a little bit here. I mean, for Ghost, this is going to be a continuation potentially of their undefeated season so far, and for Rogue, I mean, it has been a rough struggle so far. They've had to take on 2 really strong opponents recently. I think they had to take on Cloud9, which they split 1-1. They had to take on... I mean, Cloud9, even with the roster problems, they can still have the firepower to bring it into a map and just take it off you. And then they had to first Liquid. And Liquid are just... They're just a monster at this stage. There's no denying that. You can try to dress it up as much as you can. Doesn't matter if they haven't won a Premier tournament. They're still the best team in NA, hands down, because of their consistency.
Yeah, they might be one of the best teams in NA of all time, and it doesn't matter if you win a major or a Premier tournament, the consistency of placings is the thing that's really impressive, and that's the kind of thing that people talk about when you talk about, you know, you're like enviouses and stuff like that. A lot of teams that people say were some of the best of their era, it's about, you know, consistently placing top 4, consistently having really, really close maps against very, very good teams, except for Australis, where sometimes they get blown out a little bit, but that's through no fault of their own. It's just sort of a matchup thing. Yeah, Liquid's just... they're too good at the moment, and the thing is, you know, we even saw it in an interview with some of their players, is that they really work on their B and C games. So the thing is that when they're sort of just on autopilot playing these Pro League matches and just, you know, doing their thing, they're going to be even better than maybe your MIBR, who might be a little bit less focused, or your Cloud9 that's a little bit less focused, because they're the kind of people that, you know, they've had chats to sports psychologists. They played so much of a sample size of tournaments. They played for such a long time. They've had to deal with mentality issues and all that kind of stuff, that they realize that they're not always going to be playing their A game, and when they play their B and C game, they've really worked on developing that to the point where they can just win a game on autopilot.
I'll have to see how it goes against E United, but let's focus back onto the Rogue and Ghost match. I'm obviously looking a little bit forward for the rest of today. But I've been taking a quick look at the Betway odds between Rogue as well as Ghost. I mean, you have to be saying that this is going to be favouring Ghost here. I didn't even look at the numbers. There you are. But, I mean, Rogue is still in, obviously, with a chance, but just in terms of how the form's been going in Pro League so far, Rogue, they've been taking on some difficult opposition, splitting 1-1 against opponents where you'd probably give them a good chance of splitting 1-1 against. Being defeated by Liquid, not the end of the world, not the biggest upset. We're not losing the Titanic here. Whereas for Ghosts, they're just continuing forward. All steam trains ahead. They've got that mental fortitude for coming back from any deficit possible. We saw that in DOS 2 the other day, where they were down 12-3. They brought it back in with 13 rounds in a row against a, I would say sometimes a pretty lackluster team Envy, to be fair, on that T side. Regardless, still an impressive feat on DOS 2.
And regardless, like, even on those first couple of rounds of T side, Envy was taking massive advantages and just weren't able to close them out. So yeah, like you say, lackluster, but it does take something special to be able to make a comeback of that consistency and to be able to continually overcome, you know, greater odds than you have to be able to win rounds and stuff like that.
Yeah, and this is just another story in the Ghost Gaming page, or Ghost Gaming book at this stage. It's the ascension over the last 3 to 4 months has been pretty absurd. They've been consistently starting to do some damage in the outer fringes of these Tier 3, Tier 2 tournaments, and now they're starting to look like the real serious goods coming into potentially a Premier tournament like the ESL Pro League and getting into finals. You can imagine that still he would be thriving on the opportunity to do some damage to these European teams.
Yeah, definitely, especially because it's the last tournament of the calendar, so, you know, some teams that have been to Premier tournament after Premier tournament might be thinking, oh man, what should I get my auntie for Christmas? Oh, I haven't really organised anything. We lost to Ghost.
Alright, a little bit of weird tangent there. That is the pre-show done for now. We will be jumping into Rogue up against Ghost Gaming just after this break.
Incendiary out.
Did I seriously get that dude in smoke?
Yo.
Oh my.
Game, record, and stream without compromise. I'm Intel Core i7.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, Betway, Pay Safeguard, Logitech G, Mountain Dew League, MSI, Xfinity, and ESEA.
Hello everyone and welcome back. A short break, but we're back into it. Rogue up against Ghost Gaming first up, and our first map should be on Nuke as well. And Nuke, what a map!
Been a while, haven't seen it yet so
Just,
far.
I mean, how good is it? Like, legitimately, these last couple of days, I'm glad I'm not seeing like the same combination of, all right, we're gonna see some Mirage, we're gonna see some Inferno, gonna see Mirage again, then Inferno, and to change things up, we're gonna see Inferno and then Mirage. It's been a pretty good spread of maps so far.
We haven't seen Nuke. What else haven't we seen? We haven't seen Overpass.
Yep.
I think we've seen everything else.
Pretty much at this stage. It's been a good spread. So, I mean, I like seeing that, a little bit of diversity. We're able to have a gander at some of the older maps, some would say, instead of just looking at the same map called Inferno. It's always a little bit more refreshing to do. So, Nuke is always a good one to be jumping back onto, especially between two teams that can approach Nuke with a highly tactical understanding, right? Because I hate it when I have to see a team pick Nuke and they have no idea how the CT side works.
True.
Looking at you, Asian scene, but we're not here talking about Asian Pro League. We're here talking about the NA Pro League. And
I feel like everybody that plays like Nuke in officials and in like when they're less familiar on it, like they're not a very comfortable team on it, they always like go into the strat book and they're like, all right, how good can we make our T side? When in reality, I feel like the CT side is the harder of the two to play on Nuke. It's like how much decision makings there are in terms of rotations down the vent and how the ramp player plays and you know all that kind of stuff. It can make someone's head spin.
I'm not gonna lie, I still don't understand how this loss OT thing works.
Me neither. I'm also
Like,
surprised at United so far down the standings.
So it's like, say for example, MIBR. I know they lost yesterday, but why does it say 0 next to loss and then 3 to OT?
I don't know.
Oh well, we'll figure it out
Maybe
later.
they
But
didn't lose. Oh, they did.
I think they've dropped a couple because they lost against Ghost as well. So, we'll figure it out afterwards anyway. Regardless of how it is, it's still Ghost going to be at the top at the end of the day. And I mean, Wardell as we were saying, the real alpha male. I think that's the prize we're going to be giving right now over here on the B stream. He's got the stance. I mean, he just blasted away Renegades. And look, you have to be looking at it this way, right? Yell started off as the first one. Then Liaz took that off him. And then now Wardell's taken it. Where is it going to go next? It's like the unofficial championship.
He hasn't taken it yet. We got to wait until Ghost play Renegades first. Oh, wait, we just did. Yeah, he did. He definitely took it. 100%.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how cooked are you right now?
Well done.
Well done.
So maybe like a 7.
7. Only a 7. Well,
what's a well done? You reckon it's a 7?
Well done's probably a 6. But regardless about Mitch's coloring skills or lack thereof, we're jumping onto Nuke now. And we don't want to be fried for this one. This is definitely a matchup that you want to be spectating quite closely.
Those are the old skylights. I need new fly-throughs. The map's been updated, Kevin.
Has it?
I can't operate like this.
I'm still stuck back in, I don't know, 2003. Secret is still on the opposite side and completely useless. Alright, Rogue going to be starting on the T side, which makes me think that this is going to be Rogue's map pick. Let's see what they can bring over here on the pistol round. Smoking a flashbang to kick things off.
Yep, Ricky's been dropped to P250 to go pick towards outers. I think that was the smoke. No. That was the decoy being thrown out towards outer. Vice holding onto the ramp. A couple of people grouped up in lobby. I'd imagine this smoke's going to go annex or heaven, and it's just going to be a pop flash into upper. Could also be a ramp bust. So anyways, we could go at this point, Kevin.
It's just a slow default from Rogue at this stage. Ghost not really shifting their forces around too much as well. Kusa just going to be spotting and dropping away. Vice did manage to take a little bit of damage from his own teammate, but still has to eventually concede some points. 1-for-1 trades across the board so far. Wardell hasn't been able to chime in just yet, but he has the kit. is going to back away for now. Bomb needs to be planted through Megaton. But Ricky's going to be able to pick up Neptune. That might be the, I guess, swing back around signal for Rogue, unless Wardell can shut this down, which he can't.
The
Ricky's just too strong. It's all down to Sub Rosa at the moment. Kit is in hut though, but he's on the wrong side.
I don't know. We might be looking at a new alpha male here, Kevin. Ricky's coming in hot. Sub Rosa trying to make his way through the vent. I mean, there was a kit dropped in hut, but he can't just jump in through the window because it doesn't exist anymore. Hiko just going back and forth, but Sub Rosa's being spotted, so I imagine he's probably just going to hold on to his armor. Maybe try to pick one of these players chasing him out Annex if they do so. Make $300 Enos.
Yeah, he's just going to back away from this position, and well played from Rogue, just getting that initial push working at ramps and just holding on to the aggression at the end of the day. Works out dividends for them, and especially Ricky. 3 kills in this round with the P250. It's going to work out quite well. Now they spotted him out. Vice, he wants to be dueling it out. Eventually the T's are going to try and collapse. Sub Rosa, he might not be able to keep on to the pistol. There you are, Rogue will be able to take the first one quite cleanly. 3 people alive.
4K for Ricky. He's going to make himself 4 times 3, $1,200. That's a lot of dollars. Also helps him towards his AWP fund if he chooses to go for it. See a full save out of Ghost, as we have seen from pretty much everybody except for NRG. So I'm starting to really think that Valve might have fixed the game.
Oh, we'll have to wait and see for that. Just smokes outside in secret for Kurosawa to get that fast positioning. Ricky actually has the SIG, which is pretty interesting. You know something we don't, but Neptune, oh my goodness, Insta-dink coming out. But regardless, Rogue still managed to get this unders position, and shouldn't be too exciting from this point onwards. I mean, if the CTs are able to take off a few rifles, maybe even drop a few of these SMGs, it'd be absolutely great, but
they don't want to give away too many SMG frags. I mean, the re-peek allows Sick to be the one to kill Neptune previously, but... And Sick again getting another Galil frag. Just be careful not to give too many of these SMGs frags, and for the most part it has been the rifles getting a lot of these kills.
But for Rogue, they're going to be happy keeping all their members alive for now. Sub Rosa looking like he's going to be going on the hunt, but Vice should be closing that out quite quickly into the first buy round. Not going to have a ton of utility for Ghost unless they decide to go missing for firepower.
Rogue starting out on T side, assuming that they are the ones who picked this map.
Can we give it like maybe another alpha award to Neptune, who's getting that XM? I feel like the XM on Nuke can work out on top of that hut roof quite well. This is, I mean, we've seen Magisk just demolish people from
I
this
think
position.
Magisk is the only one I've seen actually frag with it ever.
I have to see if your boy Neptune can as well. Rogue just slowing things down, just trying to take the sounders control. They still have the SMGs on 2 of their members and the Galil, so it's not, I guess, fully invested in terms of rifle firepower.
He goes 6 lining up the Dupree smoke, and then Vice throws the device smoke, and you get the wall of smokes across the secret. This is the old sort of Astralis approach, really. Crystals, Glaive up at the fucking boxes, and then you got 2 people over towards outers, and yeah. You throw the smokes in and then you take control of that, or you just sort of fake it as they're doing. The smoke towards heaven from Ricky, and they're going to burst that up as late.
A lot of members here, though. Ghost might have a good idea what's going on. You can see Kusta trying to push through the smoke, but that Molotov is going to do a ton of damage to Sub Rosa, and he's going to go down with barely a fight. Neptune needs to get multiple frags here, but Crystal still just too good with the MAC-10. 2 riflers still a perfect crossfire set up from Steel and Kusta. It's going to drop the bomb. Ricky and Hiko still alive, but they're just not shifting from their positions right for now. Hiko can't seem to land this shot, and he's picked up the XM. He doesn't manage to make it work out, and it's all down to Ricky trying to wrap around from heaven.
Ooh, he's found the timing as well, but he's being watched from Wardell on the bomb site, who double dinks him and closes the round out. You almost never see people playing in that spot that Kusta was in, on that like sort of reverse annex opposite the hut. That was very effective, wasn't it? Killing people in the off angle coming out squeaky.
And, I mean, Ghosts seemed like they read that to absolute perfection. They had 4 people on the A bomb site, and Rogue weren't expecting that crossfire being set up, and that was some sublime work from Steel as well as Kusta. Rogue can still buy up into this. Ricky's gone for the glass cannon AWP. Once again, XM comes out for Neptune.
Rogue even threw those outer smokes and started to put a little bit of pressure on with Crystal just jumping around there with the Mac-10 trying to find some information. They throw the on-the-fly cross smokes, and Ghost must have been pretty confident. I don't know if they actually had anyone in lower getting the information that there was no cross, but usually you see a lot of those things happen. It seems like Rogue is really doing a lot of Astralis-ish things. Got one probing towards the ramp, and they've got a couple on top of Annex trying to look for a pick towards outer. Usually you would only see like the pre up there or whatever, but it's working pretty well to try and deny this push out of Secret rather. Still gets himself absolutely wrecked. Smoke goes into Annex, and they just try to keep probing outside.
Flashbang does not work, and Neptune now trying to gather this hut control alongside with Sub Rosa. It's not going to work out too well because slowly Ghosts are starting to lose these picks, and unfortunately Kusta and Sub Rosa, they're just isolated away from each other.
Yeah, Sub Rosa goes up on the roof there and is able to sort of outposition Hiko, but this round is still going very poorly for Ghosts. They have 2 players left. They're both quite low. Rogue have a lot of control of the map, but they're still just going to move back towards their spawn and keep it fairly simple. Try to close out the round in a consistent manner by making their way into uppers together.
This is pretty dangerous if Sub Rosa was looking at Squeaky. They are committing to the site where both CTs are going to be at, but it looks like they're actually dropping into unders instead. Sub Rosa, he managed to pick off Crystal, who was trying to lurk under Heaven. We'll be able to hear the T's drop. The bomb plant will go down, though. I don't think Kusta can really go down. He's too low. This is a difficult fight to be taking, dropping down into a position that's being covered by Vice. And is the leg to draw out the shots. I think Ghosts have to just back off for now.
Yeah, I mean, that gunfight was technically winnable, but I don't know if they can really be sure how low Vice might be or which one of the T's is actually the one in vent. So they don't commit to the fight. Much more consistent to try to hold on to, you know, about $4,000 worth of equipment.
I mean, you say $4,000 worth of equipment
Each.
if you're looking at the direct value, but it means that you don't have to buy an M4. You can argue that's a lot more. You're not buying 6K worth of rifles.
Yeah, true.
Which is a lot. And even though it doesn't mean anything right now in this particular round, because Ghost have just been reset, they can still try to do some damage. They are going to be forcing up on the back of the 2 AKs being carted forward. And for Rogue, I mean, their money isn't that great just yet as well. So it's going to still be up to the next couple of rounds to determine where this game is going to be swinging.
Ghost going for a force buy. Definitely one of the teams who don't shy away from force buying a fair bit. Ricky doesn't quite convert that shot. And they're pushing out outers here, Kev.
It's going to be an all-out brawl right now, which is working in the favor of the CT. Steel's being an absolute nuisance right now, and he's just dinking away and doing quite a bit of damage. The CTs are still continuing the pressure, but eventually they're going to have to back off from this lobby position. Ricky still trying this angle. Sub Rosa has spotted out a shoulder. Both sides not really to commit beyond a threshold just yet. Just waiting for the other team to potentially overextend and make a mistake.
A bit of patience from both, but they're just going to move their way back into lobby. Ramps is definitely the correct move here from Rogue. Going to walk through and see if they can trade out a kill or find some control. I'd imagine that Wardell's probably going to drop into lower and try to get himself in a sneaky corner where he can get a cheeky off angle, maybe a free kill and fall back and wait for some support from the teammates to try to close out the 3-on-2. Sub Rosa still does have a kit, so, you know, it's pretty valuable at this point.
2 smoke grenades as well for the CTs to work with, but as you were saying, Wardell, he's trying to play this angle well, but with the glass there, I don't know if there's enough damage for the Deagle to get this headshot and the kill. He doesn't land the first headshot, still trying to challenge the angle, but overextending just a little bit means that Hiko can eventually pick up that kill and grab that position for the Ts. Now it's going to be Sub Rosa and Neptune trying to make their way down, 5-7 and AK. Sub Rosa are going to be trying to lead the charge with the AK as the AWP shot's going to ring out. Neptune going to be playing a little bit of fire at the moment. A A little bit of bait, trying to draw the attention in, but Sub Rosa trying to close in. It's not going to work out. He can't land the spray though, and Sub Rosa is going to be dancing around with Ricky. Sub Rosa is going to come out on top, all down to this one-on-one right now. Is Crystal able just to chime in? Sub Rosa pushing in, hasn't had time to reload. Crystal going to be going in for the knife, but I don't know if that's the best idea or not.
Yeah,
because
I don't think he knows he has a kit, Kev.
And that is, oh my goodness, not only is that the AWP retrieved, Ghost Gaming win that force buy. And I think you're correct. He didn't realize Sub Rosa had that defusal inside his pocket. A little bit too BM there from Crystal. That's actually going to cost Rogue the round.
Absolutely, and I was about to say, like, you know, if they had closed out that round as well, I was going to be like, you know, this is fantastic. They're keeping Wardell off the AWP, they're keeping their money nice and low, and they're trading rounds back and forth. They're grinding out those rounds on the T side, but now everything's flipped on its head, Kevin. They've given them plenty of money. Wardell's got his AWP back, and Rogue's going to have to earn this round the hard way if they want to get back into this half and keep their money nice and reset.
Kusta looking to get aggressive with Wardell just backing him up for now. Might see another flashbang coming in from Wardell just to get this trophy position. Still, Scout trying to control the outers. It's still not the best buy coming in from the CTs, but who needs the best buy if you've got Steel at least outputting enough damage to make that Scout worthwhile?
Yeah, he's done a great job on that. Kusta here, I think he's with a friend, moving his way through radio. They're trying to crunch lobby from Hut as well. Hiko can't expect the AWP on that angle, so he gets himself peaked. Rogue's going to have to do something decisive to come back into this round, and that's going to be heading towards outer. They're actually going to go towards heaven, and that's probably going to be the right move, unless they move back towards secret and head straight into Sub Rosa, who's got a belt full of utility. Oh my lord, this fight.
It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. It's going to be ultimately favorable, I still think, for Rogue at this stage, because Crystal's positioning could net a few more kills.
I don't think they're going to expect 2 in Hut here. Vice with a belt full of util though can block up a few of the angles. There you go. First, smoke goes on to Squeaky. See if he's going to Molotov the Hut and try to get the bomb down. Maybe he'll molly heaven. We'll see. No, molly into the Hut. Neptune burns alive. Best you can really hope for, I think. Did Wardell already fly up the vent? He did. Oh, that's not good, especially with the molly and the belt full of utility. They're going to go onto the bomb site. Smokes are ready for the bomb.
Yeah, and Vice was not expecting Kusa to be that second person up. They know where vaguely Crystal's going to be in, but Wardell's just too good. Manages to find any angle that he can. It just gets through the edge of a, I don't even know, I would say a wall, but regardless of how you say it, it's always a scary prospect to be giving an AWP into the hands of Wardell, who so far has not really had the hugest impact, but 2 kills in a round that's really important for Ghost to be taking forward.
Well, this is the first time I feel like he's had the AWP and he gets 2 kills, so...
I mean, he hasn't had the most impactful start outside of that round just yet, so it's...
Looks like it's going to be an upper rush. They're going to nade open the door. Smoke's going to go out into Annex, a couple flashbangs as well. But they're not quite committing there yet. Actually, they use the smoke to try and drop down the vent. And Vice is already down there with the bomb. I don't know if he's going to be able to plant just yet. But yeah, he's already planting while the rest of his team contacts ramps. This could be very dangerous for Ghost.
But, I mean, Kusta needs to do a lot more damage right now, and he's in the danger of being overwhelmed. But he's just too sharp, and Wardell, he's just going to be slowly walking up and just great sick with a shot. It's all down to that bomb planter in Vice at this stage, and unfortunately, I don't think you can find much more. He's trying to dance around the smoke. Oh, he gets one through the smoke. Sub Rosa still sticking it, but there's just not enough ammunition in both clips. Ghost still managed to get the defuse, but at least some damage was done by Rogue. They managed to get the bomb plant down, so it means another buy into it.
Fantastic work there from Vice, just dropping down the vent very quickly into the round. Gets the bomb down. Could have even made that round pretty much a steal for Rogue, but instead, I mean, it's still fine. Bomb plant down, plenty of damage. He gets himself 2 kills. He picks up a rifle. Straight into another buy round here. Some of the money starting to build up for the CT side. Ricky going to get boosted on the outside and stick this time instead of Vice straight down the vents.
And this is Rogue with a lot of early map control coming out already.
This really looks like straight out of an Astralis demo. Like, it's just Zipnik's Orglaive flying straight down the vent like 10 seconds into the round, getting a lot of control. Pressure very, very lightly being applied to outside, not full commits down secret. just sort of prodding and probing the map, maybe going late round through ramp and just in combination with that player who's already made his way down secret, you can really steal some rounds away. And already Sick, he's got the potential to be able to pick Kusta here. Doesn't see him crossing over though. Oh, Kusta's just going to jump right in front of him.
Easy pick for Sick. Spots the decon door open. He realizes there is a CT roaming around, so he decides to put his back into a corner. Now out come the smokes and the flashbangs. There isn't going to be a smoke on this corner.
This is 100% Astralis influence right there. Just the mid-round smoke onto the side, the underarm on the other side. Sick makes the impact straight down the fence. It's beautiful. 10 out of 10. You can't argue with it either because Astralis has such a massive win streak on this map. And you can even see it, you know, Rogue using it to perfection. Retake's going to have to come in from Ghost, but it's impossible to win from this position. The amount of rounds you can close out once you've got advanced positions in lowers like this makes it impossible for the CTs to retake.
And Wardell dancing right now with Ricky, both sides. Just going to be exchanging a bow, and they're going to back out.
What a clean round. 5 alive. They're trying to hunt down Wardell before he can get too many of them. Crystal, he does pick 1, but that's going to be it. 4 alive for Rogue. Partial reset on Ghost, most of Ghost's players. Full reset on Steel. And now that they've made their way down the vent like that, they can just play with Ghost the rest of the half. It's a similar thing to Astralis. Now that they've abused that vent twice in a row. One time to get the bomb plant, one time to win a very important gun round. It's going to be the force out from Ghost. Now they can just throw smokes and nades on that door. You can already see it here. They're just throwing some pressure. They double nade the annex. Maybe they throw a smoke out there. And Ghosts have to be really, really worried that they're actually going to drop through vent. You already see double heart and 1 annex. They really want to stop people from dropping vent. They really want to stop the pressure on uppers. And now Rogue, they're not even touching it. It's just the pressure on outers. Crystal doing that glaive roll. They molly into secret. They try to find out where some of these Ghost players are playing. And then worst comes to worst, they just throw some mid-round smokes. They throw the wall from further back, as you're seeing already into this time. I think they expect it to be an eco out of Ghost after winning that gun round so handedly. They throw the smoke onto secret, and they're going to try to take some control of warehouse. And you've already seen how much Crystal's been able to make his way through warehouse into heaven, put himself in some very, very good positions.
Wardell's here with a scout though, and dangerous position for both of them to be in. I think Wardell has spotted out where Ricky is going to be. He's going to drop down a little bit more to safety in both sides, trying to exchange shots, but Ricky's just going to get the better of that. So already a round, or a minute in this round ticked away, and now out comes the rest of the people. You've got...
Ricky's killing everybody. Doesn't matter if you're a T or a CT. His AWP is magnetic right now.
Out comes a flashbang into the A-bomb side, but Kusta still has the AWP, and Neptune's managed to find his way into that lobby position, still just hiding down the entire time. At the end, it's Kusta with the AWP. It comes down to that final man for Ghost. They still get the round victory, though.
It was a close one. There's potential here for a Rogue to at least partially buy, maybe half buy, or they could still full buy. It's going to be a full buy because the pressure on the economy is immense at this point. Ghost only winning with 1 alive. If Rogue close out this round, it's a double save out from Ghost, and then Rogue really pulls ahead on their T side. On a map like Nuke, that's going to make it extremely hard for Ghost to win this map.
Here you see 2 already just fast out onto the
There
hut.
you go. They instantly punish that vent drop. The smoke gets dropped out, and Crystal gets picked indoor 5 seconds into the round. So that's a huge advantage for Ghost, who have had a lot of problems dealing with that vent drop. For people who aren't as sort of familiar with Nuke, getting a player down vent really early in the round or getting down secret with the cross smokes is pretty much the equivalent of on Mirage getting someone into ladder or connector. Dear God, though, the individual players just going for duels and going for picks, going aggressive hard at this point for Ghosts. Even though they get that aggressive pick on the person trying to drop down secret, they're really trying to close this round out.
Ricky trying to navigate his way around the edge of the smoke grenades. Wardell eventually is going to be moving around, but Sick, he is in the position to try and bring this back for Rogue. Kusta unaware there's one above him for now. And Sick is going to strike. That's the first pick going in the favor of Rogue, but sub-Rose are just
What an angle.
Just on the off angle, catching Sick off by surprise. And Ricky is just still being isolated away from the fight by smoke grenades. He's got so many different parts he needs to check. And Wardell, just the confidence to be sitting close range with the AWP at this stage.
I mean, Ricky's actually got a window here to be able to make his way into lower. I don't know if he's trying to hold on to the ult, but the shoulder there doesn't work out for him. Or wasn't even really a shoulder, kind of just like a half body. And there goes Rogue's economy. And, you know, you could say, oh, that's really bad for them. You know, Ghost got the double AWP going. They're starting to get their economy rolling. True. But, you know, Rogue's already got 4 rounds on their T side. I don't think they care too much. They've clearly got plenty of strats in the book that will be able to win them some rounds.
I mean, Ricky's just already fast down vent with the bomb this time around. Sub Rosa might be dropping that a little bit late. He cops a dink, but you got a brother in Wardell happy to back him up. Now Kusta with a secondary AWP has to rely on the sidearm though, drawing out the USP. It's not enough to stall for, I guess, long enough before he goes down. We've only lost 1 weapon so far, and
Can't believe they've let him get the plant again, which is absolutely huge. Look at the money for Rogue. That plant's massive. The amount of extra grenades they're going to be able to get off the back of that. And that's the 3rd vent drop this game alone. People might think, you know, vent drop's kind of gimmicky. It doesn't work out most of the time.
But it's not being shut down right now from Ghost.
It's really not.
I think this is really down to Neptune not really firing up just yet. He is playing that squeaky position, but he's only got that single frag.
If you're doing vent drop properly, it's actually extremely hard to drop or even tell if someone's made it down the vent. So, yeah.
Always a perilous position for the CTs to be, I guess, playing around at the end of the day. But Wardell, look at this speed from Wardell. He's just fast out, flying through. T's also trying to fly through into the annex position. They'll be able to hear the drops, but still Neptune gets one. And now the rest of the reinforcements are coming forward to this A-bomb site. Ricky going to be trying his best, but unfortunately just not enough teammates left standing. It's all down to Sick with the AK. Difficult angle to be trying to find the heads, and Neptune talking about fragging up now on the A-bomb site. 2 kills. 2 kills when his team needed it. Doesn't matter if you're sitting on 3. As long as your kills are getting the rounds for Ghost, that's what's important. And for Rogue, they're reset once again. They can get pistols, but they're not getting the rounds.
Feel like a bit of a broken record, but there's another round straight out of an Astralis demo. The fast over the silo, dropping straight into Annex and splitting upper with 1 out the door and 1 out of hut. Doesn't really work out for them, especially because they lose that first pick. They're going to nade open the door and try to smoke out Annex and come out. And this is where Ghost, Rogue, they might be doing these strats to a decent degree. They might be trying to copy some of this stuff, but they really need to start reading what Ghost is doing and adapting to it, because it's cool to run strats that Astralis are doing, but the fact is that they're kind of doing things that Astralis wouldn't do up against what Ghost is doing. Like, Ghost is playing a lot of people towards upper, Kev, and they're playing very light ramps, they're playing heavy outside, and they're playing heavy upper, and it seems like that's the only 2 places that a Rogue are going, and Ghost has really started cotton on to the things that Rogue's trying to throw at them, and they're really starting to adapt. This is where Rogue need to really make that, they really need to recognize that. They really need to start going towards ramp. They need to maybe drop someone down vent and then contact out ramp. They need to start adapting and just stop running the same sort of strats over and over again, because Ghost is clearly adapted at this point.
I mean, it's not the easiest thing to be making a contact play at ramp, especially with the double AWP that's being run by Ghost at this stage. Kusta has been in form as well so far in these early rounds of the CT side. Sub Rosa, though, he's burning.
They're going to go down. Secret now with a lot of players. So the problem with this is, and the same thing, you know, go back to Astralis for the millionth time. It feels like Astralis only really goes 5 down secret if they're up against pistols. You really need that extra arm on the push there, Kev, because you need someone going through ramp or something like that. And luckily, they're going to be able to get that first pick, which is definitely going to help them out. But if you're all coming from one angle down into secret, you really need to be winning those aim duels, or you're going to get crossfired into oblivion. I'm not sure if Ghost actually believes they're going down lower, though, because of how scuffed that outside push was. They like kind of threw 1 smoke, and then they only saw 1 or 2 people when Steel actually got picked. So I don't even know if they believe that this is 100% lowers now from Rogue, but they're going to start to realize that it is now.
Koos is just trained on decon door at the moment, but Ricky is going to be there. I think he has spotted out where Koos is going to be, trying to draw out the shot at the same time, though. Hiko has managed to find the first opening pick, and Ricky's just playing around with Kusta at this stage. Smoke grenade's not great to nullify him, and Kusta gets the better of his ex-teammate. Now both CTs still locked behind. All the CTs locked behind the edge of the smoke grenade. A flick coming out from Kusta. That's going to nullify the rifle of Vice. Vice has done enough damage to ensure that Hiko only needs to put a single bullet to dispatch her opponent. And now Six's going to come forward. Good Molotov to try to deny the bomb plan. All it requires is one shot from Wardell in the head to nullify it.
He actually waits the extra 1.5 seconds right before the bomb plant goes down to ensure that there is literally zero chance in hell that Hiko's going to make it there to plant the bomb in time. This guy's just the epitome of an alpha male.
I already told you. Just even Rogue, they were like, yep, we've got the bomb plant. He would have shot by now. No, just get domed in the head through the edge of the, just the edge of the floor. And
he wasn't even waiting to line up the shot. He had it lined up already. He wouldn't. There's no universe in which he would have needed to wait it apart from just stalling out for Hiko to be not able to plant the bomb. Genius. That's the stroke of genius.
And that nets the double digits for Ghost. And you can say it's on the CT side of Nuke, and it's going to be a little bit easier for them. But it has been a back and forth half so far. Rogue are losing the opportunities in this latter part of the game.
There's the 2 mid-round smokes once again. And they're just going to make it 5 down the secret. Steel actually still has his Molotov, but he hasn't dropped it.
Oh, there is going to be a leg shot that's coming forward. So
Steel's walking behind them.
Oh, he's coming in. He's walking. He's walking. No, he's backed off. He realizes he probably shouldn't be pushing the secret by himself. He'll rotate around the long way with the rest of his teammates, but Rogue already have some great positions inside this B-bomb site. Bias going to be controlling this vent position, but Kusta, once again, it's Kusta with the AWP that's been doing such huge impact so far, trying to open up these rounds. And now Steel, this is what you want to be doing with the Silence Downfall. We're trying to make this impact felt.
This is the problem with going 5 down secret. You don't have an extra arm to the push, so you know you really need that extra person with early vent control to be able to take some advanced positioning, or you sort of all just kind of running into a meat grinder.
Yeah, and you can see that this meat grinder right now, it's going to be Ghost just chewing up Rogue and spitting out the bones. And Sick already so low. They know where he vaguely is around as well, so the smoke's going to be thrown at him. Gunfire is going to be exchanged. And Ghost, 11 rounds so far in the CT half. Definitely not going in the favor of Rogue towards the latter half. And
just Ghost completely adapted to what they were doing in the latter parts of that half. And as soon as they started to get the money rolling, as soon as Wardell got his hands on an AWP, and they got their hands on a bit of utility, Rogue never sort of adapted the playbook. They never sort of started reacting to what Ghost was doing. They kind of just kept trying to hammer the same things home and win a couple of extra rounds, and they only ever got 4. Which is acceptable, but I don't know if it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be enough.
I'm going to have to take a look and see at the end of the day if it's going to be enough or if it's just going to be falling flat once again.
Interesting that, you know, Neptune's come into this team and he hasn't really blown anyone away, but they're consistently winning games. So imagine if he gets his form up a little bit. I mean, we all know that he's very talented. He can definitely output the frags. So as soon as he starts to get more on top of his individual game, get more on top of and comfortable with the roles that he's been given in this team, they're going to get even more scary. And I didn't think that was really possible, you know?
I mean, this is a roster that, like I was saying, I think it's the dedication of the players that has really earned Ghost this position at this stage.
For sure, and they're all talented, but, you know, you look at someone like a Sub-Rosa who previously was like 30 bombing SK in the online competition and stuff like that, and now he's just become a role player on this team, and he's fine with that. It's just, you know...
And he's always, like, he is still that impact player that comes out, he rifles, but it's not reliant upon him solely to just frag it out. And similarly for Wardell, it's not just reliant on Wardell to frag out. If he does drop a 30, sure, it's like, it's going to make Ghost...
It's that much easier, right?
It is that much easier, and sometimes it is needed a little bit to close it out the gap. Say, for example, a game against Renegades yesterday, if it wasn't for Wardell going quite big, could have been a Renegades victory, potentially.
But you still have the system behind that to be able to win rounds. That's why you see a player like Sub-Rosa. Ghost might be up 10-2, and this guy's gone 5 kills, 8 deaths. But every single time, he's making space, he's getting in there, he's doing his role, he's doing a critical part of whatever their T or CT side is, and it's enabling them to be able to put rounds on the board. And at the end of the day, if you got 16 rounds on the board and your opponent doesn't, you're going to win. Unless it's OT.
Yeah, I was about to say unless it's overtime. But...
Or unless you're playing MR30. Like all 30.
MR30?
Yeah, no, sorry, not MR30. I'm cooked. Anyway. Rogue's going to go onto their onto their CT side now. And we'll see how strong they are on that. I mean, this is their map pick, right?
I'm assuming so, unless Ghosts... I mean, unless Rogue are really the true alphas here to go, oh, Ghosts to pick Nuke and we're going to start T-side. I don't see that happening for some reason.
I don't know. I guess not.
A bit of an extended halftime break makes me think that it's either someone had to quickly rush to the toilet or there's going to be computer problems. One of the two. It's never anything else.
Have you seen my toilet-related clan tag on Counter-Strike? Have I told you about that?
Nope.
No? Alright, then this
I think I've seen it before.
Oh, you've seen it before?
We randomly queued, like, I randomly queued and met you, and I was just like, Mitch, what are you doing? And you're like, Kev, what are you doing?
We were playing LPL last night, and they asked us to remove the tag, and we were playing up against Greyhound, and I went, there's literally a guy on the other team called Dick, and you're asking me to take the clan tag off. Come
Hey,
on,
look,
bro.
Dick Stacey, you can't be a hater. The precedent's been set, alright, so...
I mean, lucky he's not in this game, because then we wouldn't be able to argue about who the alpha male is.
There's an argument there, mate. Out comes Ghost Gaming onto this A bomb site. Sick, though, still getting the first kill. Now 3 down into Vent. Sub Rose is here trying to catch someone off rotation, and he does manage to land it eventually. Has a P250 as well. Going to plan it to make sure they can't get tagged down from Megaton. But Vice is still going to be pushing forward to try to land the shot. It's not going to work out. Flick from Steel. And now Bo T is stuck inside the dark corner, needs to bail it out. Sub Rosa, where is he going to be? And has he come down through Secret just yet? No, he's actually dead. He's been nullified by Ricky earlier on.
This is a must-win pistol for Rogue. They really need to start to pick up the pace. They don't have a kit. I don't know if it's been dropped on the ground or something of that nature, but still getting that pick is going to make it immensely... Oh my god, 12-4. I don't know if Rogue can do this anymore.
Well, it's going to start with the first buy round, right? They don't really need to force just yet, and we've seen bigger comebacks. We've seen, there was this game that you liked harping on about between Vitality as well as Optic. Vitality are up 13-2 after a half, and they still dropped it. It all really depends on what Ghost is going to be throwing and how the setup from Rogue is going to happen.
I'm trying to think. I think it
was
the same context as well. But yeah, they do force, which might be the best case of shooting yourself in the foot I've seen in a while. Wardell just turns around and just catches a guy rushing through the smoke. Dear God. And it looks so quick as well. He just snaps onto him.
Yeah, 20 seconds. This round's done for already. Nothing really to talk about at the stage except for these CTs trying to save their weapons. And Ghost, I mean, they're going to recognize potentially that it was a force buy since the SMGs took a little bit longer to take down our opposition. They're still going on the hunt, though. Sub Rosa. I mean, sorry, still going to need a... Oh, no.
Doesn't
Come
even
on,
lift.
Steel.
He doesn't even lift, Kevin.
Going to have to go hit some more deadlifts after this one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my
He tried to run. You see that?
Ricky,
he
no
tried
mercy.
to get away. No chance, my friend. Vice going to try and hold on to the 5-7. Ricky's got 2.3k, so maybe he can drop a rifle to a friend. Maybe he's going to drop a scout and buy the rifle for himself. Maybe he's going to glass cannon. You drop a scout and then buy the glass cannon. It's pretty special. That's a lot of scoped weaponry. I don't know if I'll be able to handle that at this time in the morning.
I mean, I was gonna say that sounds like one of your teammates last night, but
True.
I think Ricky is a bit more of a team player right now. He's only picked up a little bit of protection, which is always good. Want to keep safe. Same smoke coming out from Ghost, but they just slow the brakes. They apply the handbrake and they just go.
What were all those smokes in Alpha?
They're throwing all these smokes. They're trying
like
to draw out
4.
the CTs.
What the hell, man? Still just chilling in vent. You want to wait for the smokes to go out. 6 burning at the heels a little.
Wardell, just fearless warrior charging in. There's going to be a few inside hut though, and that's going to be a bit of a problem until there's still one lurking around there. That's going to be Sub Rosa just dancing around. And the pistol's doing a bit of damage. Vice with the 5-7. Okay, this round's suddenly become exciting because it's 2-on-2. Ghost realize that they've lost a few too many members. They're going to have to drop down instead.
They're piecing it, yep. Full vent control for Steel, so you got Ricky already zooming his way down the ramp. Vice running back and forth, wondering if he should go to Secret or Vent. He's gone all the way to Secret, but Steel's probably going to hear him running that way and get in a decent position to be able to kill him, I would imagine.
Yeah, but Vice, he can still come up on top potentially. Not so, though, because the positioning from the remaining two members of Ghost are enough to nullify a bit of a scare around. But this is the buy round coming out from Rogue now. They need to make this work out, otherwise they may just drop out of this first map in pretty quick fashion.
Yeah, they were taking a lot of guns off Ghost, so Ghost's economy is starting to get a little bit more damage than it might have been otherwise. Ghost are actually taking a timeout. Very well.
They want to seal this. They don't want to be going, oh, we want this to drop forward. I want to make sure that they take their time to close out the game.
Or are they just BMing Crystal?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whenever I'm down 4-14 against a team and they take a tactical timeout, I always just go, really? Speaking of Crystal, he's having a bit of a shocker, Kevin. Ever since that knife attempt, things have not gone well for him.
Yeah, it has been a bit of a turning point, and oh my goodness, Ghost Gamer, they're still fast out onto the A-bomb side, but Hiko, he's unchecked! Well, they did check the position, but they couldn't kill him. He's alive, ready to fight it out. Sub Rosa, though, managed to get the spray down, still has a Molotov in heaven. That can definitely do a little bit more work, as Steel is going to make his way out as well. Both CTs going to back off. They realize they've got the numbers advantage, and they can play around the circumstances. And Hiko, if he was just taken out immediately, this round could have been completely different.
Still picking up all the Molotovs. They're actually going to boost Heaven. Love this mid-round play. Still can even pop flash to Heaven for him as he goes for that pick. Might not even need to, though.
Practice makes perfect this time around. Vice going to be dropping a smoke down, but it's going to go a little bit too far, and instantly two counter picks coming in from the T side. Steel, though, can't stand his ground any further. Tried going in onto that hut position to just nullify that mini area. CT is just giving enough space for Sub Rosa just to move around for now. And Sub Rosa at the same time going to be trying to make sure that his foot landing sounds are going to be nullified by some gunshots. So he's going to be making the long rotation around, but slowly if he's making the long rotation, it also means that Rogue, they're going to be pushing onto the A-bomb site. He's going to eventually start, he has to start running eventually. There it is, he's going to have to make a move. And Rogue, they'll be able to hear him just when it's too late. He'll be able to get the bomb plant down. Both CTs can make this vent rotation. And now it's really just down to the positioning of Sub Rosa. Sick is going to be low.
Definitely a very winnable round for him. Let's see where he chooses to play it from. I think he's chilling in the dark corner for now. No smoke on the two CTs, but Ricky does have the kit and the HPs. Sick's just trying to find the info for Ricky, so that Ricky can trade him out.
Oh, he puts it at the perfect position, and Sick doesn't need anyone to trade him out. They managed to flush him out, and they pick up a much-needed buy round. That's really thanks to Hiko getting that double spray down. Ghost, you can see it would have gone completely differently if they were able to nullify that CD defender. Regardless of how it is, though, Ghost can still buy up into this and continue forward.
Okay. Another pause. So we head down the ladder. Another tactical from Ghost. Interesting.
That's still yelling at the boys, going, why didn't you do this?
We're in a 2-on-4, and Hiko just multi-fragged them, to be fair. That's not even a round that they should have won. Maybe they just didn't execute that annex attack or how they wanted to.
And that's probably why Skill's taking this pause at the moment. He doesn't want this to bleed out. He's seen what happens on Nuke if you allow the CT side to start getting ahead a little bit. Becomes 1 round, becomes 2 round, then all of a sudden becomes 10 rounds in a row. You don't want that for Ghosts. Even then, only 2 members alive at the end of the day for Rogue means that the economy isn't going to be in the greatest shape. If they were to keep a lot more rifles, it would have been a lot more serviceable in this one. You can see that actually the SMG comes out for Crystal and to drop a few over.
Pretty slow approach out from Ghost here. Not the best buy from Rogue, but decent enough. Neptune's going to have to make do with the Mac 10. Both teams have their AWP ready to go. Ricky's starting to take a lot of damage from that Molotov.
There's a Molotov in heaven, and Neptune has managed to try to sneak by with the MAC-10, but the insta-trade comes out once again in the back of the rifles in Warehouse. That's the Warehouse rifler down, and Crystal, as the smoke fades, he's going to just drop a few shots, drop utility and fall back.
What an outer's take, though. The smoke onto the windows, the molly into the heaven, you flash over the top and smoke off secret. Like, what a strat.
And now Kusta's also coming in as well and making sure that the Xanax player goes down. Vice, he's the only one on the A bomb site so far. Hiko is going to join him though, and they're going to try and set this crossfire that worked. It's not going to work this time around because Neptune just comes in, and they're checking the corners right now. It doesn't matter if Steel goes down. The rest of Rogue are going to be dropping. And Ghost now with 10 match points in a row. And this is probably going to be a very simplistic round to take. It's only going to be pistols for Rogue. I say only, they can still make it work out, but Ghost so far have been looking pretty unfazed on their T side.
Moment of silence for Rogue's economy. And probably for their chances in this game. Fast outer smokes coming out this time from Ghost. Going to make their way down secret fairly quickly here. We'll see how quick the rotates come out from the pistol as Steel picks one in uppers through the annex there. See if he's going to try and drop into the vent. Actually, just drops a smoke out there and mollies 2 uppers, 2 ramps, and the rest of the Ghost boys are already down secret. I would say that this is pretty much game over at this point because of how quickly they've gone down secret. They've got themselves into a great position. Steel's even holding down the flank.
He's going to spot at least 1, if not 2, and he's going to call this out and just go, all right, we're just going to secure our positions. You can see that the Molotovs are being dropped. No kit here.
No chance. It's over.
Yeah, I mean, might as well kick back up.
Yep.
Secret players coming forward. Neptune a chance to get a few more kills. He's just dancing back and forth to find the headshots. He's even waiting for the peek coming out from Kusta at the same time. 2 Ts coming in. They want to close this out, and there you are. The AK-47s raining loud, and Ghost. Pretty comprehensive victory, let's be realistic.
Yeah, if you look at the odds and you see how much that was just a close domination, it felt like after those first couple, maybe 3 or 4 rounds that Rogue had on their T side, it was a fairly easy one for Ghost to be able to close out. It felt like as soon as Wardell got the AWP going, as soon as they got their money going, and as soon as really they started to adapt to what Rogue was throwing at them, and Rogue was unable to start to realize, oh, they're really stacking up for a lot here. We should probably stop either rushing upper or going fast annex. We should start maybe attacking ramp and trying to get that person down vent or down secret. Yeah, that just really didn't adapt, it felt like.
Yeah, and I mean, down to the lack of adaptation from Rogue, they didn't manage to get more than 4 on the T side, even though it was a promising start. And similarly, though, Ghost definitely stepped it up towards the latter stage. They were able to get the reads forward. Then the impact started being felt from that A-site riflers, where it was failing them earlier on. And on their own T side as well, grabbing the pistol and then moving forwards from that point onwards is pretty simplistic stuff. Only dropping, I think, what it was, a single round on their T side. Look, that's not going to be too... You're not going to be hugely upset about that one. That one really just came down to, okay, they just didn't trade out. Wardell didn't get an entry.
It kind of lined up for Hiko as well, so... And even then it was like a 1-on-1 or something, wasn't it?
A 1-on-2. But, I mean, Ghost was still able to bring it back to a 2-on-2 there, and they could have gone forward and even picked up that victory. I mean, from that point onwards, it could have been a 16-4. Look, 16-4, 16-5. At the end of the day, it is still going to be on the pages as a pretty solid victory for Ghost, and they're just continuing their undefeated charge. Like,
and not too long ago, you would have said, wow, a match between Rogue and Ghost, this is going to be a close one. This is going to be an exciting game. Could go either way. Well, it's all out the window now.
I mean, it was exciting in the early stages. I mean, I think it was exciting the entire time. I think this match was being all that it could be, thanks to our sponsor, the MSI. It was really just... We saw the strategies coming out from Rogue, but you also saw the counter adaptations coming out from the Ghost players as well. Steel, I think, just able to recognize what was going on. I say Steel most of the time because he's really just the 3000 IQ brain on that team. He's just able to call out and just go, all right, boys, we've played against this before. This is what you guys need to do. All the players, they know how they need to adapt as well, and they just rolled forward to an 11 CT half, which is pretty solid.
Yeah, and their map pool's just ridiculous. I mean, they're getting Nuke picked against them by Rogue, and they have, like, you know, the molly into heaven with the smoke down onto the windows, the smoke into secret. They got some pretty nice strats. It felt like, I mean, obviously when you win pistol and you're already up 11-4, you don't really need to dig too deep into the strat book, Kev, but felt like they had a pretty good idea of how they wanted to close that one out, and it didn't even... ever really feel like Ghost was going to lose that game.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't have to dig too deep, but they do shut the book onto Nuke. But we're going to go and jump onto the next map just after this break.